Let's do it.
Thanks, James, with the assist. So our next topic was MC restructuring how they do their TV series. So this is now, they're restructuring it to now it will have showrunners who will write the pilots and show Bibles. I'm not 100% sure on what a show Bible is, but I assume that's the vision of the entire series. There's going to be full-time TV executives. It's no longer going to be limited series, but rather a multi-season serialized TV series. So I assume, like, I don't know, say WandaVision will probably get WandaVision 1, 2, 3 before they move on to a next project.
Right.
That sort of stuff. So is that the sort of vision you want? A more like thought out, carried by one person, one vision throughout this multi-series?
No,
No,
this is not what I want at all. This is another bad move in Marvel's mind, or at least in my opinion. I get so annoyed, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, of course, but people always say, like, like this MCU series, Secret Invasion, whatever, it needs more time. No, it doesn't. It doesn't need more time. They're like, oh, it needs 12 episodes, not 6. We've had movies for like 10 years, and they showcase the story and character perfectly. Maybe not perfectly, but like very well, where we got invested in them. You need better writing. You need a better vision. It's not about time. We don't need 7 hours or 8 hours. If it's 12 episodes, that's 10 to 12 hours of content to tell a character's story. You just need 2 hours. Honestly. And why do you need second seasons of stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah. A limited series is the way to go. I honestly think, in terms of on how Marvel wants to do the TV shows in the future, I think it's just limited series. And it's just showcasing, I guess, characters that don't get the movie spotlight and have no integral influence on the main Marvel storyline. So casual fans, people that can't afford Disney Plus, can go to the movies, spend their hard-earned money, and still keep up with everything going on. I mean, if you watch Quantumania, you don't really know what the...
No.
Kang. Who? Who is this?
Who is this guy?
Yeah. You don't understand his place in that universe, but yeah, it's not the way I think Marvel should go, but what I know.
I'm on the fence about this one, actually. I think I don't think there is necessarily a right way to approach making television for the MCU, because it's such a sort of untamed, unknown thing. We have some idea of how some shows have done and how others haven't, but again, we don't have access to those figures. We don't know how they've done for Disney on a viewership level.
Right.
But in terms of creativity, I mean, what really stuck out to me there, with what you said their name was, the showrunners are making the Bible, and did you say writing the pilot?
Yeah.
They're writing the pilot. To me, this sounds to be a direction, Disney's direction seems to be giving back a lot more creative control to those showrunners, which is good. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, yes, you are right, James. If they're going to do long form stuff like this, what impact is that going to have on the mainstream movies and what we're talking about? If they're going to do these big, expansive things side by side the movies, it's like, well, who's the king of the jungle now? The TV series or the movies?
That's
who's ruling it?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to this one, because, again, on one side, they're giving back creative control. And on the other side, this could lead to a further deterioration of whatever we're seeing.
Yeah. I mean, I think I might be the only one here that's seen the first episode of Loki season 2. And it feels so integral to what the Kang Dynasty, the next Avengers movie, is going to bring. And if you put yourself in the mind of a very casual viewer who likes the Marvel movies, who follows it, but not really that much, their incentive to watch Loki seems very low. Oh, that character died in Infinity War, why would I want to watch the show? It's probably just in the past. They have no idea of everything else that's happened. And if they choose to skip Loki, they're choosing to miss out on so much, world building in terms of the TVA, which is meant to be integral to these next two Avengers movies, and our main villain, who's meant to carry it over. Again, Thanos debuted at the end of Avengers 1, a movie that nearly everyone saw because it broke all these records at the time. And, you know, why would you set up your next villain in a low-key series?
Yeah.
I know it was great. I know we loved it, all of us. But it doesn't make sense for for everybody to enjoy this, story.
Yeah, not everyone's on the same page at that point.
Yeah.
I think you're right in saying that. Like, I completely agree with you. I think that, integrating, very vital plot points into...
That's my dad's truck. Just ignore that one. It's very loud.
Yeah. So integrating very vital plot points into television series is, not a good idea. I don't necessarily think that's the fault of the creators of the show. I think this is a Disney decision. Yeah. And I think that sort of decision and those sorts of choices could be taken back. I think that they should take those sorts of decisions and integrating important story elements away. Yeah. And you can still do these multi-season things. Because, you know what, there's more to say with Loki. I think that while that first season was great, it didn't fully wrap it up in a way that I was...
It leave it open-ended.
It left it open-ended, and quite frankly, as much as I did love the series, it went by a little too quickly. For the scale of which they were telling the story.
Yeah. So my question to that is it a case of it, alluding to the next great threat in the MCU, or just because it's a Loki series? If this was a series that just focused on Loki and, kind of his story or in a side quest or whatever, there wouldn't be a need for season 2. But because it deals with such a big proponent of what's next for the MCU, there has to be a season 2 to expand more on it and get us closer to where the storyline is heading.
That's true, but then you could also say that, I personally did want to see what went on with Wanda between where she was in WandaVision and then where she was in Doctor Strange. There's a huge void there where she turns dark.
Do you think that should have been a TV series or a movie?
Well, it could have been another season.
So, WandaVision season 2 where she... You
see her deterioration, and then her motivations in Doctor Strange make a lot more sense because you see her mental state fall apart. So, there are arguments to be made for these multi-season things. I don't think it's as black and white as mini-series are good, multi-series are bad, or multi-series are bad, mini-series are good, etc., etc.
I think it depends on the character, really. I mean...
I agree, actually. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, what you just mentioned about Wanda will be perfect because... last I saw it was in WandaVision where she was a hero, and then
at the end of it.
At the end of it, yes.
Yeah.
And then in what's its face, Multiverse of Madness, she was a villain, so to speak, and you're just there like, what the fuck? And then people that didn't watch WandaVision, last they saw them was in Endgame, where she was a fucking hero. She was an Avenger, and now she's a bad guy.
Hell, even the people who watched WandaVision, even I watched WandaVision, I was still a little confused by how quick that turn was, but
I know, but I'm saying people that didn't watch it, they'll be like, what the hell happened in between there?
Wanda's a very interesting character, and I think it's poorly developed. Like, she went villainous very fast in WandaVision, and then became a hero really quickly again, and then
became a villain quickly again.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing with the character or what they want to do with the character.
No, she's supposedly dead. Oh, sorry, I did air quotes there, guys.
Oh, yeah, she'll come back, but
Anyway, my point was you got that with what's her face, Wanda. You also got Loki. They obviously Loki's not a movie guy. No one would really want to see a movie about Loki. He's more of a TV series, in my eyes, at least. And the fact that they decided to, set up their next phase through that TV series, and it ended up being great and good for it. I think that should also be a multi-season thing. Now, multi-season doesn't really need to be like 3, 4, 5 seasons long. It can be 1 or 2. That's probably what they mean about multi-series.
Right.
I don't know. This is fresh.
So you're in the side of you think it should be a mixed bag. Like, some should be multi-series and some should be
Yeah, and completely
miniseries.
and completely depending on the character, because there's clearly characters that do not deserve a movie.
That's true.
You know,
Yeah,
like
that's true.
but there are
Yeah.
characters where they would benefit from having like 1 or 2 seasons just to flesh out their story, and then they can come back and I don't know, in a movie have a quick like a minute or two to explain who they are. And
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah, I do agree with that, and I sit quite assertively on the fence that it should be limited series only, and that is because of the fact that they seem to introduce new characters at a rate that the movies can't keep up with.
Maybe this is what their restructure is just one person having a look at it rather than I don't know a studio.
No, but I mean, like, we're getting so much new characters that we can't explore them and we can't get to know them or be invested in them. So, limited series allows us to witness a story of one character. We move on to the next one. We move on to the next one, so forth, so forth. But if you have limited series, then we have to focus on this character for this year, and then 2 years later, again, we have to focus on them, and then again. If they're going to keep,
But doesn't it just create more familiarity with that character? Isn't that a good thing?
It does, but they're introducing too many characters for content to have a focus on them.
Okay.
If they slow the introduction of new characters, then we have time to settle down with them and get to know them and then get invested in them.
Yeah, they're at a breakneck pace.
How about this? Yeah. If they adopted this strategy right from the start when WandaVision released, would you have the same gripe? Because we didn't.
No, because we would have been getting a lot more slower introduction. It would be easier to digest, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it really depends because the quality of the MCU TV shows have dropped off like an iron.
Oh, definitely.
Like, the first 3 came out and we were like, oh, okay, this is good. It could actually work. And then just nothing.
Get ready for What If Season 2. Series no one wanted.
I'm not even going to comment on that one, but I don't know. I think we're all just kind of marveled out in a way. I think I personally would just love if they just kind of drop the TV shows.
Yeah.
At least for now, just
Forget
it's too much. I can't even watch it all.
Yeah.
Have you watched everything?
No.
What have you missed out on?
She-Hulk.
You haven't watched any of that?
No, and technically Loki Season 2.
Did you watch Miss Marvel?
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a background TV series for me.
Right.
It's really quite good at the start. It's very well done at the start, but then
just
classic Marvel fashion
goes off track. Like I was actually engaged for like the first 3 episodes, and then after that I was like, what is happening? And it just got worse and worse, and I was like, okay, I'm doing stuff in the background.
Yeah, I was the same way. Like first 3 episodes, super engaging, very well crafted stuff. Like cinematography, fantastic.
Yeah, and the character was actually like very interesting, and then by the end of it, you became like an annoying little teen.
Yeah, and it just turned into full Marvel action slog at the end, and it was like, all right.
Yeah. Fucking Marvel.